Hello again and welcome to another episode of I Want to Talk About This Album. And today, I want to welcome you to episode number 200. It's a very special episode. I'm not going to do anything special. It's just that I think a lot of people like nice, round, juicy, sweet, shiny numbers that end in 0. And the more zeros there are, it seems that the more special they are. This has got 2 zeros. And I'm not doing, like I said, nothing special is going to happen today. But I just wanted to point out that this is episode number 200. Thank you for those who have watched all of 200. I don't think there's anybody who's done that. Maybe Mike Pratt has watched portions of all 200, but I don't think anybody has watched all of them. But I do thank you for watching any of them. And here's to one more. And I hope I can make it to episode 201, let's say, is my next goal, my next target. So it is episode 200. It's going to be Iron Maiden. No Prayer for the Dying. I'm still kind of in Iron Maiden mode from their concert that I saw here a couple of weeks ago. But before I get to the episode, a few orders of business to take care of. I haven't done one of these episodes for about 3 weeks, maybe more. I don't know, something like that. The last one I did was Metallica Garage Inc. I did that on, I know it was just posted a couple of days ago, for me a couple of days ago. But I did that in the middle of November. So it's been quite some time since I've done one of these episodes. I hope I remember what to do and how to behave in these episodes. But a couple of things, as I said. Before I get to the episode 1, El Chopo, please, if you have any El Chopo requests, give them to me. Leave a comment in the I think now YouTube, at least for me anyway, they don't call it the comments section, they call it the community section. So leave a comment in the community section. If you have any requests of anything you'd like me to focus on when I go to El Chopo next, which according to my plan should be Sunday, December 21st. It's going to be a special Christmas holiday episode at El Chopo. I think I went last year. I know I went last year before Christmas and I did show some Christmas things. But it might be some time before I go to El Chopo again. So, and I'm always looking for, little requests if you have any challenges, something that you've never seen me show before, if it's anything more specific you want to focus on. Any ideas, I don't know if I can accommodate all of them, if I get more than one, but I'm always looking for ideas. There's something, at least one thing that I want to buy, probably a couple of other things that I want to buy, but sometimes I run out of things to show instead of showing the same crap all the time. I would like some input from you, the viewers, so please tell me what you'd like to see at El Chopo when I go there on December 21st. The other thing is I want to thank everybody who came to the live stream. I guess at this point for me it was last week. Thank you, that was good. I always like doing those. I think I'll do it again. If you watch the live stream, you probably know that I have a big trip coming up on February 10th. I'll probably do a live stream after that. So that'll be the next one to look forward to for me and hopefully for you. But thank you. That was a good one. That was live stream number 6 the other day. I enjoyed it. It was a long one. It was 3 hours and 58 minutes. Thank you to everybody who came. And the last thing I want to do, somewhat related to the live stream, you might have seen it because I did show it in the live stream. Am I ever going to get to Iron Maiden, No Prayer for the Dying? I showed it. I thought it was really cool, and it bears repeating, or maybe showing for the first time publicly, and I'll show it in a second. You may have noticed in my YouTube channel avatar, it's a caricature of me. For years and years, since I had this channel, since I started in 2006, I had my avatar. It was a stop sign. It said, "Say no to drugs, say yes to tacos." I had that for years, and in one of the very few shows of non-vanity, I have to have my face everywhere. That didn't show my face. So the avatar that I have now, it's a caricature of me, which was done by a guy called Brian Bones Jones, Bones Incorporated. Inc is INK, Incorporated. I did an episode with him about a month or a month and a half ago. He's a great designer. I did an episode talking about gig posters with him and all kinds of art and things like that. So he designed this current avatar for me. It's an avatar of me for me, or for me of me. That's me with my silly little hairdo, and I unveiled it, and I want to show it. Look at this. I actually had it. I didn't have it framed, and this is me. Now this was I have to thank somebody very special for getting this done for me. It was quite a surprise. This was a birthday gift for me recently. My birthday was November 6th, but I only got this recently because it took forever to get it framed. But I thought it was very cool. I like it a lot. So I have to thank Brian for doing the design, and thanking the mystery person who so graciously and thoughtfully gifted this to me for my birthday. Very cool. I have to say, something I really love and hate about this is you may notice I have a couple of discolored teeth here. These are, I think they call them dead teeth, which is thanks to a quack dentist. I'm not sure if dentists can be called quacks, like bad doctors, but a dentist here. I'll tell the story. I'll try to be quick with this. I had a really bad problem with my tooth about 5 years ago. I was in Arizona hiking, and my tooth was really, really sore. When I came back, I went to the dentist. He said, you have an infection, you need a root canal. He did the root canal. A couple days later, it didn't feel any better. I was still in pain. I went back to him, and he said, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I did the root canal on the wrong tooth. I'll do it on the right tooth this time. So we did it again. And guess what? He was wrong again. The guy did it. Guy gave me 3 root canals. It sounds bad where I come from. But honestly, in Canada, I think a lot of countries, if you did that, this guy would be paying me a lot of money. But I live in Mexico, so I got nothing for that except some discolored teeth. Now, Brian, very thoughtfully, although I don't like it, Brian, look at that. He got my discolored teeth in there. That's called attention to detail. But I like this a lot. It's very, very cool. Thank you, Brian. And thank you, mystery person, for gifting it to me. Now, I will get to Iron Maiden, No Prayer for the Dying, and I've got it right here. Something strange, when I got this out of my collection earlier today, I noticed that it has the newer artwork on it. If you're an Iron Maiden fan, you know that the original artwork of this was, the Eddie was a little bit different, and in his left hand, he was choking a guy. I guess it was like a gravedigger or something. And they changed it. I guess Iron Maiden later didn't like it. I always thought it was kind of goofy because the guy that Eddie was holding up, Eddie is so menacing, and Iron Maiden artwork is so menacing. And the guy on the album cover, I think it was supposed to be, some say it was supposed to be supposed to resemble Rod Smallwood. I don't know about that. He just looked kind of almost cartoony and didn't fit in. So probably best that they changed the album cover. But I swear I knew that I had that because this album came out in 1990 and I bought it when it was new. I possibly even bought it the day that it came out. And as I've mentioned before, I often, almost always, I missed some over the years, used to write the date on in the booklet of the day that I bought it. And so I thought, why do I have this album cover? And I checked, and it's barely visible. It took me about 45 minutes to decipher what it is. I had to hold it in the correct light. I needed a magnifying glass. I needed some all kinds of help to do this. And it turns out that I bought this on December 26th, 2003. And immediately I knew why I had this. Or I don't know why I bought it. I think I know. December 26th in Canada is Boxing Day. And there was always great promotions and deals on Boxing Day, the day after Christmas. And my brother and I had a tradition for years of going downtown Toronto and buying. I mostly bought CDs, but we would buy other things too. And there was a great record store. If Brian Bones Jones is watching this, he would remember the great HMV store, the flagship store at 333 Yonge Street. They used to have every Boxing Day. Their promotion was, I think it was buy 2 or I think it was buy 3. And you got the third item free. That was for anything. Records, CDs. I think they didn't sell records back then. Any 3 items you bought, you would get the 4th one free. Obviously, the cheapest one. And I guess I was wondering today, why did I buy this? And the only reason I can think of was for the spine. Iron Maiden, when they reissued these CDs, I think in '98, they if you had them all, they encourage you to buy them all. The spine would form a photo or a picture of the Eddie. I think it was from the first album cover. So I guess I bought this, and maybe I was missing some on CD at that point. I don't know. But anyway, I bought this in 2003, and it was the one with the enhanced CD. And I think these came out in '98. There's no date on this. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, this is the 1990 album. This is the 1998 version, and I got it in in 2003. All right, so there's that. Now, this, where to begin with this one? I have a lot to say about this one. I at the time when this came out, as I said, in 1990. I had been an Iron Maiden fan at that point since 1982. So that is, I think that's 8 years. I do believe my math is right there. I've been an Iron Maiden fan for 8 years. And I guess at this point, for whatever reasons, I wasn't into Iron Maiden. I was really losing interest in them. I guess that was because it was 8 years that I've been a fan. You know, there was new music coming out, and Iron Maiden at that point was becoming like an old band to me. I'd seen them on their previous 3 tours, Seventh Son to Seventh Son, Somewhere in Time, and Power Slave. And I don't know, maybe I was just burnt out on them. And so when this album came out, I was very disappointed. I think a lot of people were. This was kind of the beginning of, obviously not the beginning of the end. Jesus. Not the beginning of the end for Iron Maiden, but it was where their decline really, really started and would continue until 1999. And a lot of other fans, I think what we didn't like about this album was it was so short, which is kind of ironic when you think about how Iron Maiden is now and what I've said about Iron Maiden's last, I don't know how many albums, especially Senjutsu. There was no song on here. The longest song is and I checked this earlier, it's 5.5 minutes. I think it's exactly 5:30. It doesn't say on here, but I think it is 5:30. It's Mother Russia, the last song. And I think a lot of fans were like, you know what? This is Iron Maiden, stripped down Iron Maiden. We like the big, long Iron Maiden songs, which again is pretty ironic when you think about what a lot of people think now. And there were no keyboards or guitar synthesizers on this, which there were on the previous 2 albums, Seventh Son and Somewhere in Time. And you would think that would be great, right? Iron Maiden is going back to their rock sound. They're kind of ditching the synthesizers. There is one song with synthesizer on this album, which I'll get to, and all those things. And again, when I think about them now, I think this should have been a great album. If this album came out now, I think everybody would love it. But at that point, it was just, I think, wrong timing. Metal at that time was kind of, things were changing. That was a little bit. This was a year, or I guess less than a year before 10. Nevermind. Before the grunge scene kind of became a thing. But I think at this point, people were getting a little bit tired of Iron Maiden. I was. And this album just didn't do it for me. Also, maybe the album cover was not the best. Like I said, it wasn't this one, but the other one. And it's funny how the great albums also mostly have great album covers. I don't know if you like the album because of the album cover or the album cover because of the album, but that all kind of goes together. And so there's that. I think maybe the bigger reason for not liking this album, subconsciously anyway, was that Adrian Smith was gone. And we in the metal world, we don't like member changes. Everybody loves original members. I know Adrian Smith is not an original member, but he was an old school member. He came in on their second album. And just the fact that he was gone, maybe if he had been on this album, I don't think it's impossible to know, but if Adrian Smith had played on this album instead of Yannick Gers, maybe I would have had the same reaction, and maybe everybody would have had the same reaction, and the album still would have flopped. It's hard to imagine that the reason this album flopped was because Adrian Smith was gone. But for whatever reason, I didn't like it, and it was kind of a sign that, maybe Iron Maiden is, kind of on the way out. Guys are leaving. Well, not guys. One guy is leaving. And I don't know, that kind of psychologically kind of maybe destroys the consumer confidence in the band, I think. But, so I listened to this the other day while I was exercising and listened to it again today, and I had to take notes for it. Strange that I would have to take notes for an Iron Maiden album, but I did. It's just because I'm not familiar with it. This album is way better than I thought it was. I guess my opinion has changed over time, but I really enjoyed my 2 listens to it. There are one awesome, incredible classic Iron Maiden song that I've always loved. There are 3 other ones that I like and, that are quite good to pretty good or very good. I don't know whichever one is better. And you can maybe guess what those are. The other 6 songs, I didn't remember anything about them. Not a single note about them. I remember all the song titles. I know there's Run Silent, Run Deep, The Assassin, Public Enema #1, Mother Russia. I remember all the titles, but I don't remember anything about the songs except those 4 songs I mentioned, which you can probably guess what they are. It was the 4 singles. And I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, and I think this album sounds great. I don't think it's, other than the keyboard, the synths that are missing from the last 2 albums, I think it sounds great. Sounds like an Iron Maiden album. I know a lot of people have kind of shit on this album. They say it doesn't sound good. I don't know what they're talking about. I think it sounds excellent. Even at the time, I had no problem with how it sounded. But yeah, I feel like if this album came out now, I would love it. And I feel like it would be very, very well received. Maybe now the word I could use to describe this is underrated. You know, sometimes over time, your opinion changes. You know, I think Motorhead, Another Perfect Day was not well received at the time, and now people love it. Saint Anger by Metallica was hated at the time, and now I think it's still hated. But you know what I mean. Some albums, people's opinions of them change over the years. So that's what I thought about No Prayer for the Dying, and I'll go through it track by track now. And also their look was more streamlined too. You know, they were back to leather jackets and jeans, and their stage show. I didn't see this tour. Like I said, I was kind of a little bit sick of Iron Maiden. Looking back on it now, and I looked at their set list during the live stream that I mentioned, that was a really good set list that they played on this tour. And looking at the photos from the CD as I listened to it today, it looked like a very, very stripped down stage. Just Marshall amps. When was the last time you saw amplifiers on an Iron Maiden stage? I guess definitely not Power Slave, Somewhere in Time, or Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. Peace of Mind, what did that stage look like? I think there were amps on the stage then. But very cool. And again, they're just wearing leather and jeans. Denim and leather, as another band once said. Pretty cool. I wish, in retrospect, I wish I had seen this tour. Yeah, but at the time, I guess I was too cool to go see it. There's another picture of, just the wall of Marshall amps, many of which probably are dummies. All right, so going through this now track by track, as I said, I do need notes for most of it. The first song is Tail Gunner. I know that. Oh, this is the one that I mentioned earlier. I fucking love Tail Gunner. I think it's a great song. I put that up there with anything, you know, their Iron Maiden always had great opening songs. Moonchild is one of my probably top 5 Iron Maiden songs. Aces High is definitely one of my top 5 Iron Maiden songs. Somewhere in Time is maybe top 10. These are not official rankings, except for Aces High and Moonchild. But I think Tail Gunner is an amazing song. It's really the only true kind of real. There are some like classic Maiden sounding songs on this record. This is the real rocker, I think, of the group. It's got great energy, and I know they opened with this on this tour. And this one, maybe more than anything, maybe this one and 22 Acacia Avenue are the ones that I would realistically love to hear on the next tour. They're not going to play Strange World or Drifter or I don't know, the what's the dinosaur song? I can never remember that song. Is it Quest for Fire? They're not going to play those. Realistically, they could play Tail Gunner, I'm hoping, and 22 Occasion Avenue. I would love Tail Gunner. Trace Your Way Back 50 years through the glow of Dresden, the blood and tears. What else are the lyrics? Who shot who and who farted first, I think is what he says. Dripping dead to wet the bloodthirst. Tail Gunner is an awesome, awesome song. My favorite on this album for sure. Next is Holy Smoke. Now this is obviously another one that I did remember, and I've listened to this song, and I should say also, I don't think I've listened to this whole album. Probably, I guess when I bought it in 2003, I would have listened to it around there. It's possible that was the last time I ever listened to the full album. I've listened to some songs here and there, obviously. Like I said, the singles. But largely ignored this album for 20 years. Holy Smoke, I like it. I like this song. The lyrics are kind of goofy, and I think this is another thing about this album that I didn't like and still kind of rubs me a little bit the wrong way. It's a little bit, Iron Maiden, they're pretty serious, right? They're about history metal, and, but this album, there's several songs on here, at least 3, maybe 4, that, and I think Bruce Dickinson has a big hand in that were a little bit lighter, goofier, funnier, maybe not suited for Iron Maiden. And Holy Smoke, musically, that I guess sounds like it could be Iron Maiden, but lyrically, believe in me and send your money. Believe in me and send your money. Good vocals. It's about, like every band it seems at the time, the only one I can think of, or the first one that I think is Ozzy had Miracle Man, about Jimmy Swaggart, and I guess this was about Jimmy Swaggart, the televangelists that were, that they were really good fodder for metal bands to sing about back then. Who else? I know Motorhead, I'm sure, had at least one song about those televangelists. Give me it. Who else wrote songs about those? I thought the lyrics for Iron Maiden were a little bit goofy. Flies around shit, bees around honey. Holy smoke, holy smoke. For the devil to stoke, I can't remember the lyric there. Put him in feet first, this is no joke. I can't remember. And that video sucked. I couldn't stand that video. I really hated it. Which probably also, influenced my subconsciously reasoning for not liking the album. But Holy Smoke, I like it. But just the lyrics were a little bit trendy, a little bit goofy, I thought, for Iron Maiden. Next is the title track, No Prayer for the Dying. I love this song, and I had no idea what it sounded like. When I listened to it, I thought, I don't know what this song is. And I checked, and it was the title track. I love it. I don't know why I didn't like it back then. Like I said, just tired of it. It's got the quiet kind of intro, and then I guess halfway through it or 2 minutes into it, it gets rough and it gets more up tempo, kind of more like a what you would expect from Iron Maiden back then. Some wailing solos in this song with, I guess, Dave and Yannick going back and forth. I thought No Prayer for the Dying was an excellent song. I love it. Next was Public Enema #1. Here's another kind of goofy one. I hated this song title. Public Enema, ha ha ha, very funny. What a larf. It just seems so inappropriate for Iron Maiden to have these kind of play on words. And who, this was, I think Steve Harris wrote this one. Dave Murray, no, Steve Harris had no hand in this. This was Dave Murray and Bruce Dickinson. There's, I guess, then another, that's Bruce Dickinson, as I said. I think he's a little bit cheeky, and he's kind of humorous. And so Holy Smoke, that was Bruce Dickinson also, obviously writing the lyrics. And Bruce Dickinson, Public Enema #1. I feel like Steve Harris would never have something like that. It turned me off a little bit at the time. Next is Fate's Warning. This is another one. I had no idea what this song sounded like. When I listened to it again, it has the quiet, typical Iron Maiden intro, which if they had written the song like this now, the intro would be much longer now. And I liked it. Yeah, I thought it's a good song too. Again, I feel like I'm kind of listening to this album for the first time, but I liked Fate's Warning. Next is The Assassin. I think this is my least favorite on the album. It's okay, it's all right, but it's got those kind of goofy backing vocals. What are they? I have no idea what they are, but is it I'm Coming For You? The Assassin is Coming For You, something like that. Let me see here. And Iron Maiden had so many of these songs that it was the, and then, a noun, which is typically a person. The Assassin, the Trooper. There's a million of them. What else? The Prophecy, the Clairvoyant. What was the backing, the lyric in The Assassin? Better watch out, because I'm the assassin, because I'm the assassin. Better watch out, better watch out. Better watch out, because I'm the assassin, because I'm the assassin. Better watch out, assassin. That song, it's not so great. Next is And really the only song that I don't really like on this album. And next is number 7, Run Silent, Run Deep, with no comma. Maybe this is why I didn't like it too. I feel like there should have been a comma, Run Silent, comma, Run Deep, but it's just Run Silent, Run Deep. It sounds too fast. This is another one that has a quiet intro and outro that now, if they had done these songs now, the song would have been, 2 minutes longer. The intro and outro would have been longer. And this is one that I did remember when I listened to it last week or the other day. Running silent, running deep. I remembered that part. That's all I remembered from it. The verses I thought were really, really cool. Kind of great riff in the verses. Kind of heavy Iron Maiden song. I like Run Silent, Run Deep. Next is Hooks in You. This is one that I've been very, very familiar with over the years. I've listened to it many times. I love this song. But again, it's kind of the cheesy, and this, I'm sure this was a Bruce Dickinson. I think Adrian Smith and Bruce Dickinson. Yeah, Dickinson Smith. Again, kind of goofy lyrics. Not goofy, and I know it's part of the Charlotte the Harlot trilogy, so they say, Charlotte the Harlot, 22 Acacia Avenue, and then Hooks in You. But, I just thought it's kind of strange, or maybe I thought at that point it was strange hearing Bruce Dickinson singing, kind of like a sex song. Hooks in you, hooks in me, hooks in the ceiling for that well-hung feeling. No big deal, no big sin. Strung up on love, I got the hook screwed in. But it's got a great riff. And then the choruses, which I just said, hooks in you, hooks in me, hooks in the ceiling for that well-hung feeling. I thought it was just a little bit too happy sounding for Iron Maiden, but then the verses are great. She's tied up, she can't come to the phone. You must have got your wires crossed. She ain't home. Knock on wood, I like that sound. She never could keep her feet on the ground. Love that song. I like it a lot. The choruses are a little bit off-putting, but overall I do like Hooks in You, except for also for the little bit of a cheesy lyrics in Hooks in You. Next is Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter. Same thing here as Hooks in You, and I know this was another Bruce Dickinson song. He wrote the whole thing. It was on his soul album. No, it wasn't on his solo album. This was on The Nightmare on Elm Street. Not part 3, Doc and Dream Warriors. This was maybe part 4, I guess. Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter. I thought it was cheesy at the time. I love it now. But, again, hearing Iron Maiden Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter just sounded kind of goofy. I maybe also felt like at the time, Iron Maiden can't come up with their own songs. They need to rehash a Bruce Dickinson song that was on a soundtrack. Maybe that put me off. And I hadn't listened to that song, his Bruce Dickinson's version, in all these years. And I listened to it just shortly before I did this video. And it's fairly different. It's still obviously the same song, but there's a clear difference. I can't say I have a preference one over the other. Probably Iron Maiden. I would almost always rather hear Iron Maiden, playing a song than Bruce Dickinson's band. Nothing against Bruce Dickinson's band. But overall, I would say I do like Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter. And I do believe that it will be revived on the 2025-2026 Run for Your Lives tour. That's what I think. A little bit cheesy for Iron Maiden, this song. Same with Hooks in You and Holy Smoke, kind of. And all Bruce Dickinson songs. And Public Enema, number 1, at least in song title only. And the last song is Mother Russia. This is, Iron Maiden songs, typically the last song on their album was, pretty, kind of a big epic song. Rime of the Ancient Mariner, most notably, I guess. Empire of the Clouds on Book of Souls is 18 and a half minutes or something. Mother Russia, it's the longest song on the album, but it's pretty short. I think it's 5.5 minutes. And I feel like if they did this song now, if this was a song they were writing now, they would have extended it by a lot, which I don't like those long songs. But this does sound like not classic Iron Maiden at the time, but what Iron Maiden kind of would sound like later would be Mother Russia. I think now, if this song were released now as a 5.5 minute song, it would be considered like a classic. Or if they extended it really long, it would be considered like a boring song. And this is the song that I mentioned earlier. The only song with synthesizers on this album is Mother Russia. And they're not overpowering. There's too much synthesizer on Senjutsu. This song will be much longer now. And this is the only Steve Harris song. He had this is a real Bruce Dickinson album. This is the only solo Steve Harris song where he's the only credited writer. He's got No Prayer for the Dying was also Steve Harris solo. And then he's got 1, 2, 3. Oh no, The Assassin too. Ha, I was wrong. Yeah, he's got a co-write or solo writing on all of them except 1, 2, just 2. Yeah, all right. I don't know if I had any point in all that. But that's it. That's No Prayer for the Dying. Pretty good. I feel like I need to get into this album more. And I always, in many of these episodes, I say that, I listen to them and I think, I get into it more. And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I feel like with No Prayer for the Dying, because I am still in Iron Maiden mode from their concert a couple of weeks ago. That's why I wanted to talk about it today. And I do like it so much better than I remember. Sometimes you need some space, you need some time away from people and music as well. So that's what it is. So that's all for today's episode. Thank you for watching, and don't forget, leave some comments, and I'll give some more reminders about El Chopo. Tell me if there's anything you want to see at El Chopo, Iron Maiden related or anything related, and you'll see that video and the results on. I'm going on December 21st. That'll probably be up December 22nd. So thank you for watching this episode number 200, very special one, Iron Maiden, No Prayer for the Dying.